So I hope it's live on YouTube now.
I guess you can check that.
Yeah, I got it's live. No need to worry about it. So before I will introduce about yourself, then you can pick up the questions given by people. Okay? Is that okay for you?
Yeah, sure.
సో ఈరోజు మనతో పాటు ముందుగా మనం ఈరోజు సెషన్ దేనికి కండక్ట్ చేస్తున్నామంటే మాక్సిమం పీపుల్ బూట్ క్యాంప్ నేర్చుకుంటున్నారు. ఈ బూట్ క్యాంప్ నేర్చుకున్న తర్వాత వాళ్ళ కెరియర్ లో ముందుకు ఎలా వెళ్ళాలి, సాఫ్ట్వేర్ లోపల ఇండస్ట్రీ లోపల థింగ్స్ ఎలా వర్కౌట్ అవుతాయని మాక్సిమం పీపుల్ కి తెలియదు కదా. సో అందుకోసం మనతో పాటు ఒక 13 years సాఫ్ట్వేర్ లో వర్క్ చేసిన ఒక డెవలపర్ ఉన్నారు. అతని నేమ్ వచ్చేసి ఆర్కా. సో ఈ వర్క్ ప్రీవియస్లీ అట్ మింత్రా అండ్ స్విగ్గీ అండ్ డైలీ హంట్. సో ఈస్ కరెంట్లీ వర్కింగ్ యాజ్ ఎ సీనియర్ డెవలపర్ ఎట్ అట్లాసియన్ అనమాట. సో టుడే ఈస్ గోయింగ్ టు కవర్ all the topics that you need to excel in your career. So if you have any doubts regarding your career, you can ask him. He's going to respond and give answers. So you can either ask in this, if you got invite through this StreamYard, you can ask in here, or else he's just ask your questions in the comment section. He's going to answer your questions, or else I'm going to pick those comments and give you and try to pass it to him. I hope everyone got clear with this thing. Yeah, you can start asking questions if you do have any, so anyone can answer. So I updated you the StreamYard link, so you can join using that StreamYard link. So today we are not having Google Meet because of the issues, that sound issues due to Google Meet. We are having it in StreamYard today, so you can join using StreamYard and ask questions here. So I hope everyone got clear with this thing, why we are not doing it in Google Meet today. So you can either ask your questions in Telugu, I will pass it to him in English. So no need to worry about that. సో కమ్ముగా ఉంటే సరిపోదండి, జస్ట్ క్వశ్చన్స్ అడగండి. మన కోసం వచ్చినప్పుడు అడగాలిగా క్వశ్చన్స్.
Hi, bro.
Yeah, Arka, I think he's asking you questions.
Hello.
You can ask. You can start answering.
Yeah, hi.
I want to be an AI developer. So how can I start my career in AI?
Okay. So you are currently in college or doing a job? How is
I'm
it?
in final year.
Okay, you are in final year. And I believe you are doing BTech computer science or like how is it?
AML, artificial intelligence and machine learning.
Oh, so you are doing in that, right? Okay, then I think
Yeah.
you are in I won't be able to help you much over here because like to be truly in my 13 years of experience, though I have worked in all product companies, all pro like the whole experience is in product companies, but I had never worked as a AI and ML engineer. Like have not worked, but what I can say is that since you are already doing your graduation in AI/ML, the BTech in
Yeah.
AI/ML, I think like there would be uh, companies who are coming to your campus for this, or like they are only coming for software engineering. So like
Yes, they're only for software engineers.
So you want to move into AI and ML only. So I think like generally what I do, like generally what I know and what I suggest other mentees of mine also is that there are these two portals which are very good, like for Hacker Earth and Hacker Rank. So you can go up and see there are some competitions. Like in short, the competition is nothing but a gateway to the first interview round. So those things run on Hacker Earth and Hacker Rank. In your case, you have to search for only AIML competitions which are going on. So that is a good place to get for companies for AI/ML roles. That's one thing. Second thing, I would say that you should focus on your LinkedIn. So build your LinkedIn very well, because that is very important nowadays, especially for AI. So
Yes.
build your LinkedIn profiles, do your research, do you like if you have research project, add them over there, and yeah, and these are the two. And in LinkedIn also you will there is a section where you will get job openings, but I don't think that will be much help. But your LinkedIn profile, uh, having a strong LinkedIn profile and having your research paper and your projects that you have done committed to GitHub is also very important. So I'll tell you one thing which I had experienced in my career. Early in my career, I used to code a lot, and then I used to push all the codes into GitHub. So after that, I got interview HRs from what should I say, like Facebook. It was not Meta then. Facebook from US reached out to me for a role in US. I don't know how, but later I found out made sense that I used to code a lot and push everything to GitHub. So there are companies who scan the GitHub repos and then rank probable candidates as leads to this company. So in short, like that, my active pushing to GitHub. I used to build product projects and also a lot of company stuff where I would hit a problem, then I would search for open source projects, and then I would fork them and then build on top of them. All those things do get noticed, so it's very important that whatever AI/ML project, please do push your code to GitHub, and it should be publicly accessible. Unless and until you are doing something which would be very valuable that you can sell or something, or you can patent. But yeah, that is the thing. It positively impacted me because I never reached out to Meta and Facebook and sorry, yeah, it was Facebook then, Facebook and Google, and a few more companies, they reached out to me. I think mostly because my LinkedIn, I don't have that much. You have gone through, I think you can check my LinkedIn, but it's mostly the GitHub contribution which got me calls. So that's one thing. So yeah, like that's what I can say all about AI/ML. Like it's a generic answer, but AI/ML I cannot. I don't have expertise, so I should not be. I'm not the right person to guide you over here because my AI/ML expertise is very, very, very less.
Yeah,
Okay.
Arka, someone asked you a question that they have previously worked on Accenture up to 1 year and they want
Yeah.
to shift on to DevOps or one. They are having confusion. They have worked on BizTalk and Microsoft Azure when they worked for Accenture.
Uh-huh.
They are in a confusion whether to shift to DevOps or Mon stack developer. So, do you
DevOps,
think
stack developer,
and,
DevOps,
and Merge stack like
Mer-
MongoDB, Express,
or
React,
Express.
and
That
Node.js? How do you rate Merge stack in product-based companies like they do use Merge stack or any other softwares they use?
see, Mon, if you use Mongo Express, Mongo, leave out Mongo is the data store. It is mostly in startups that you will have a lot of benefit if you go to MERN, but big companies will not build on MERN at scale mostly. So it
Okay.
is like if you if you know MERN well, you are very valued, to be truly speaking, because lot of companies need MERN developers or full stack developers. There is a lot of lot of demand, at least in Bangalore, and Bangalore there are demands, especially in startups. They need developers who can contribute from day one. So if you know MERN well, it's very beneficial, but it would be for startups, small startups, like even Flipkart. Flipkart is not no more a startup. Like say, like for
It's
an
an
example,
unicorn now. It's a
uh-huh.
unicorn now.
It's a big company. Like I will say, like when I was in Swiggy, there is something called a vendor portal which I built. I built it using Mean. So the React was replaced by Angular. Then React was very new,
Okay.
so it got picked up. So I built it in Mean stack, Mongo Express, Angular Node. So I will like that's the insight I can give. And then Swiggy was not even 1 years old. So you got it right. So if you are
Yes.
a one stack, so you will get job for sure, but mostly in companies having 1 year to 5 years experience, like the company's old being 1 to 5, 6, 7 years old. That's mostly it. Like if you are asking about product, and in services obviously you will be in demand. MERN is
Okay.
good. I'm not saying MERN is good, not bad, but the point of MERN is to be a full stack developers. And if you learn MERN, you will get only focused on MERN. You will get job in these companies, early stage startups. But if you remove out the Mongo, the remaining three part, which is React, Express, and Node, is used at Atlassian, at Swiggy, at Zomato, at Facebook, at Google, everywhere. They have the what should I say, the uh, most of the company's front end is built with React mostly, and then the back end would be Express and Node, right? So the back end means like the immediate back end for the web UI component visualization or rendering. So it is like you will have a lot of job to select from, provided you are very good at it. So yeah, there
Okay.
is scope. And then the remaining part is DevOps. DevOps is something which has huge demand uh, based on the companies and the skills, like the digital economies, the digital landscape that India is currently in. So DevOps is needed by every company. So DevOps, but like you should not actually. So I would say like select your both is beneficial. So with DevOps, you will be having a niche expertise in the infrastructure of the company, and with MERN you will be a full stack developer, mostly focused on the company's web portal front end rendering. And for very early state companies, it would be end to end, like the product would be built on MERN only, mean and MERN only.
Yeah, okay. Akash, some other question is that what are the jobs that are available in companies with less coding? I mean, like without coding or less coding, what are the jobs that are available to freshers or experienced people?
Like tech jobs.
Yeah, like mean available in tech companies. What are the jobs with less coding or minimal coding experience?
So minimal coding means like if you're fresh out of college, then you don't have any experience, right? So you don't what I understand. Let me explain what I am understand is that your job profile does not require you to code. You need
Yeah, minimal coding. Just at minimal coding.
such a job profile, right? So
Yeah.
such job profiles are product managers. Job profiles are program managers. Product managers and program managers. Such job profiles are a little bit of data analysis where you don't have to write code, but then obviously you have to write SQL and all those things. Yeah, so those jobs are available. And then the remaining would be non-technical, like marketing, uh, uh, what should I say, like mostly marketing, HR, uh,
Like
product.
digital marketing things like that.
Digital marketing, right? Every companies have those things. Like so, if you want to job, so like less coding, then I think you become a designer, right? Designer is a perfect role. You will be technically, but you don't have to write much code. So you will design is that what you have to design is that you have to design the UI spec. The coder will finally code it, but then you will work with engineers to design how the user flows happen. So like every
Okay.
product, every company has product, every product there are users who are using it. So you will design the user flows along with the engineers and the product manager. So in that designer role and content developer role, so you will have very less amount of coding to do, very less, but you need to know. It's a tech company, you need to know the tech very little, like not much. There are engineers will help you over there.
Yeah, okay. Another question is that after learning any programming, where we can practice, can you suggest any platform like Lead Code, Hacker, Geek for X? What do you suggest for a beginner?
I would suggest that if you are in college, you are just starting learning, or like let's say, like I believe whoever wants to join a company would have some experience in programming, or they are. This question is asked by somebody who is just into college. The easiest approach is that pick one language, learn it well. It could be Python, Java, C++, anything. Stick to lead code. Start with lead code easy. Move to lead code medium, then move to lead code hard if you can. Okay, so that's all you should
Okay.
focus on. Take one tool at one portal, and it's very important. This is very important. Whatever code you write, create a GitHub repo, push the code to GitHub. This is very
Yeah,
important. That's
yeah,
what
that's the
always.
thing I taught to the students. First and foremost thing, while teaching beforehand of Python too, I taught them GitHub because I wanted to put push people into GitHub so that they can explore things and whoever watching them can get benefit from them. That's
Yeah,
why.
yeah. And you can use Bitbucket also, Bitbucket,
Yeah.
GitLab. So like these are Git repos, Git remote repositories. So like GitHub is one, you have Bitbucket, which is my company Atlassian, and then you have GitLab, which is another company. GitHub is Microsoft.
Okay.
I bought it, right? So you can use anything, GitHub, Bitbucket, or GitLab, but please push your code, write your code. Don't keep it at local. Push it to a Git remote repository. That is very important, and please do keep it public so that people and the bots can scan your code, and probably you would come as a lead to some recruiter somewhere.
Yeah, Arka, another question is that what are the skills are needed to get into product-based companies, and what is the selection process at companies like Atlassian? What are the most important topics for DSA?
So let me explain. So it's very simple. For a company like Atlassian, if you are joining as an engineer, then you need to be a good problem solver, right? Then what problem do we solve? We solve problems of softwares, right? So you have to write code. Okay. Now, what are the challenges at Atlassian? The scale is huge. Okay. The problems that we solve may not be solved anywhere yet. So you need to be able to think through an unknown problem and solve it at times, not always. Or at times you can take reference from already solved problem and come up with a solution of your own. Like take A, B, C, D, and then finally build a solution of your own. So okay, so now that's an engineer's role, right? So engineer is required to code day in day out at Atlassian, or like in the companies that I've worked. Like I worked at Day11 where I used to code. Like code what? I used to code services, right? So this would be mostly REST endpoints, a set of services, microservices architecture, and all those. So even like in Mintra also I used to do that, and what other company in Informatica also I used to do that, and Daily Hunt, yeah, and Atlassian also.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it's the
What are
same.
the important? Yeah. What are the important topics to get into companies like Atlassian? DSA important topics that they
Uh,
need to practice.
that is that I'll come. So the second thing is that now what you need to practice, right? So in
Yeah.
short, you need to be able to solve. So let's say you are targeting, let's say Microsoft, Atlassian, Salesforce, these companies. So it's very
Okay.
simple. The criteria is very simple. I'll tell you. Take any lead code medium problem. Don't take dynamic programming. Okay, very simple. Keep out dynamic programming and then take any lead code medium problem. You should be able to solve that problem within 20-25 minutes at max. Unknown problem, I'm saying. If you think you can do that and you can solve 2 or 3 problems in 1 hour, then you are well suited for a like to crack the interviews in any of these companies that I'm calling about. So it's very simple. Keep out dynamic programming. Don't focus on that. Mostly, what you need to focus on is uh, uh, linked list, arrays, and then a bit of what you backtracking would be good. Like backtracking is pretty important. A lot of companies ask them, and a little bit of tree, binary tree, and a little bit of graph. Tree you can don't go till AVL and all those things. Those are never asked, mostly never asked. A normal binary tree and solve a lot of free problems, solve a lot of backtracking problems, regression problems, list arrays, these problems, and few graph problems. Don't go to graph lead code hard problem for graphs. Lead code medium is more than enough. So if you focus on that, that would be. I think did I answer that DSA which topics to focus on?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
man. So another question is that if they're having career gap, can they enter into product-based companies like Microsoft or Google? So they have skills from certificates like AWS and DevOps. Will they be entering into software with the career gap?
Actually, I am not well suited to answer this question, but I don't think you have any problem with a career graph, provided you can explain why there was a career graph. So it's very simple, right? First of all, your CV you get contacted by a recruiter. That is like they have shortlisted your CV, or you contact a recruiter and they shortlist your CV and you give an interview. Once you give an interview, you crack it and everything is fine, you are, yeah, your background check and everything is fine, you can get a job, as simple as that. Now, whether you have a 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 6 years, how many years of gap, if you can explain why that gap was legit, like a probable good cause, then it's absolutely fine. You don't always have to join Atlassian or Microsoft, but like, I don't think that becomes too much of a problem if you can crack the interview. And the only problem is if you have a lot of gap, probably your, what should I say, your CV selection would be a problem. Not getting a job would be a problem. Once your CV is selected, if you crack the interview, if you do well, and your background verification is absolutely clear, I don't see a problem you joining any of these product companies or any companies, I would say. Like even startups, like in India, there are like Bangalore, there are a lot of startups, right? So yeah.
So another question is that what is the most important thing that plays while getting hikes? Is that skill or the projects that you are in? What is the most important thing?
I think it is your ownership, I would say. So, like you
Okay.
are saying, job change hike. Are you saying job change
No,
hike?
no, no. In company hikes.
Company, it is ownership. What I have personally felt in my career. So, how much ownership you take for the product? It is not always. So let's see, right? It's not always project or skills, right? So you're given a job, you do a job, and you forget what others are doing, whether it goes live or not. If something is, somebody else has a problem, whether you solve it or not. So it's about ownership. So if you show strong ownership, that is, you go beyond the call of your duty and help others and solve problems at companies that most probably the company itself doesn't know exist, or the managers doesn't know exist. Uh, you are obsessed about customers satisfaction and processes, and then I think that is the most important criteria for your appraisals, because that is highly valued at mostly product company, all the companies that I've worked, that is highly valued, because like that builds trust on you. Company will invest you when they see that you bring value on the table. Then the appraisal is nothing but companies investing in you, so they need to see that you bring some value on the table, so that your ownership and is something which will get recognized.
Okay. Another question is that which platform do you suggest for beginners to practice coding problems and why specific that platform only? Why do you suggest that specific platform only?
It doesn't matter. You can select anyone, right? You can select hacker,
Okay.
lead code, anything. I have mostly in my career I have only mostly solved lead code problems. Hence, I am saying lead code. So uh, you can stick to one platform. It doesn't matter whether you go to Hacker Earth, Hacker Rank, Geek for Geeks, lead code, or you can do competitive programming. You can go to Spodge. Just take one platform, stick to it. What I will suggest,
Okay.
don't go to squads. Those are mostly for competitive programming. You need to get, like, you. I think you have, the person who is asking is focused on a job. So I think like, select
Okay.
anyone, stick with it. Select one, stick with it. It's all about practice. Select one, keep on practicing solving problems. See, try. It's important that you understand the problem that you are solving and not mugging it, because mugging, I
Yeah.
believe, will ever take you very long in your career or anywhere, right? So what I do and what I suggest my mentees, I do free mentorship also for a lot of uh, early stage technologists and college students. So I say that take a problem, take 3 days, 4 days, but solve it yourself. Because if you take a problem and spend time over it, you think of like hundreds, thousands of different scenarios. Okay, that insight will uh, that that will build your programming skill, right, or programming muscle, and mugging will never do that. Okay, so it is important that, because you take one problem, solve it. If you take 3 days, 4 days, but the next problem will be solved within 1 hour, 2 hour, I can guarantee you that, because uh, then, like, that's how the muscles build, right? Because you have put your thought over it. So I will just suggest that don't see a solution, or like, even if you see a solution, see hints and try to come up with the solutions. Don't see the solution, see hints. And like, if, and please don't mug. problems. Like it doesn't help. It will never help you. What I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, next thing is that can a commerce background student get into software job?
Yes, I think I know few. I know software engineers who are from BCom. There is nothing like now. The thing is that there are a lot of companies who just see whether you can code. Now the thing is that if you have to be a software engineer, you need to code, you need to know data structure, you need to know algorithms, you need to know operating system, you need to know the RTVMS. If you can learn them, and then probably for your case, for the BCom person, some certification is would be very helpful, because initially the certification and degree does make sense, and then yeah, and then practice, uh, push your code on uh, repositories, and then like y- you can be a tester, you can be a DevOps, you can be a software, you can do anything based on how much effort you put. There is nothing. I know of people who are from BCom who have come into software industry. Yeah,
So another question is that the AI is growing rapidly. So there are
mm,
tools like which can code from paper that you give, design that you give. So is it
right.
relevant to know full stack web development these days? What will be the demand in future for this web development when in this AI era?
That actually I am also not very. I cannot, or I'm not the right person to answer also. But I will just put few points like with disclaimers that I am not the right person. Obviously, I have checked a lot of AI tools, and which will only go better and better and better. But trust me, if you are working on any big software company, the code repository for AI to write code into that code repository is still another few years away. Like I think very very few years away, because AI can write code when you are trying to build something. Let's say somebody has an idea, they want to build it. AI can help over there. Okay, but we need good front end engineers who knows the DOM model, document object model, who knows
Yeah.
uh, those things. There is always need for them. I think like as I think another uh, 5-10 years there would be need. But yeah, again, I since I'm not I have done my own testing and all those, but I since I don't know at what scale, at what level AI is there, what is the state of art over there, so I cannot comment.
Okay. Another question is that which programming language is best to practice for getting into product based companies?
It
For
doesn't
you to
matter.
suggest when it doesn't
uh,
matter.
for product companies, they need problem solvers. They
Yeah,
don't.
Arka, let me tell you something. Most of the people believe that we are running a Python bootcamp. So most of the people believe that if you learn C++ only, Java only, they will get into product-based companies. Python is going away. Most of the people believe that. What's your take on this?
See, what I understand, I have taken more than 150 interviews in my till now.
Yeah.
Like it will be close to 13 years. Like in June 30th or 31st, what is it? Like will be my 13 years of experience. So what I've taken close more than 150 interviews, or maybe 200. See, what we do is that we need problem solvers. Product companies need problem solvers, right? You are given a problem statement, like let's say some data structure or some weight problem. You need to code it in some language. It doesn't matter which language, programming language you use. Okay, so product companies look for problem solvers and not. Product companies means like if you are saying Microsoft, Facebook, Google, Amazon, uh, Atlassian, Salesforce, and what lot of other Slack, Twilio, and all those, right? Harness and all those. They generally don't look for any language specialist. So even if you know Python and you know Python, and with Python you can write or build any system or solve any problem, then you are good. And just another important in a product company or any startup, right? So like for an example, when I was in Telehunt, right, I used to write code in a month in 3 or 4 languages. Sometimes I used to write code in Java, sometimes I used to write code in Golang, sometimes I used to write code in Python. Okay, so it used to change. Sometimes I used to write shell scripts. So you need to know multiple languages over some time, but you can start with some language. Language is not a barrier, but only thing is that you need to, if you are working in a product company over a very long time, you will know multiple languages. That is the final truth.
Okay, another question is that nowadays there is a demand for system design rounds like LLD and HLD. How much is important to crack into product based companies? What's your take on this?
See, I would say if you are in 1 year or 2 years experience, LLD, HLD, if you are not giving too good a greater interview, you still have chance. But if you have 5 years, 6 years, 7 years of experience, or more than that, you need to be very, your LLD and HLD round or system design round has to go good. That is very important for you to get the job.
Okay, what is your take on web development in the coming years? Will
Which
it be demand for increasing web developers or decreasing developers due to AI trend?
that I don't know. Actually, obviously, see the thing is that, right? Why do you need software? You need to software to solve some problem, right? Some user use case, some human problem or something, right? You need to build a product. If AI can build your front end, like let's say somebody has a business idea, initially what they would do, they would either need to code themselves or they would get some people to write the code. Now, if a simple idea, if AI can build it for them, okay, obviously they won't go to a human developer, right? So now
Yeah,
AI doing such a great job is few years away still, I will say. So that the guy who doesn't have any experience on coding or any experience of computer science, they need to host it and do a lot of stuff, right? They need to at least tell it what to do. Okay. So like
yeah,
it's not that anybody out of the box comes up and say that, okay, I want so AI is not like that. So if you say AI, I want a build me a Flipkart, AI will not build you a Flipkart, right? You
if
have
it
to
can
spend,
build, we won't be we won't be there.
it will
Yeah, when
not
it
build.
reaches that stage, we won't be here building these apps.
Yeah, then we will be doing something. There will be lot of other scopes.
Yeah,
AI in short will increase in I will say, like, will create new avenues for coders to build new stuff, or like coders, or I will say like technologies, and like it, I think it will create more jobs in the long run. Yeah, like I
yeah,
don't know. Yeah.
yeah. Another question is that what are the underrated skills that are required to get into any product-based companies from technical and communicational skills, apart from technical and communication skills?
Yeah, like so a lot of companies have these values round, so it's important. So I'm keeping out your fluent in English, I'll keep that out. Okay, you can express fluent in English means like you can express what you think properly to to the persons in front of you, right? So that they can
Yeah.
understand. So that I mean by fluent in English. Second thing is that you are technically sound, we'll leave that out. Then what is important is your integrity, right? Your integrity, your patience, your uh, customer, or what I said, so ownership, right? Integrity and ownership, these can be found out. So managers ask questions to find out these skills from you, like they would give you scenarios to find out what would you do in this scenario, right? So these are some of the points managers generally look at. And then collaboration, right? Are you a team player? Because in a company you cannot do everything alone. You may be a good, but you are like, you cannot work with people who have problem. So are you a team player? All those things is these are the soft skills a hiring manager or HR manager would look for in a candidate.
So let me put you in a situation whether so you are going to hire a 5 year experienced person from a non IT. So he's trying to get into IT. So will you consider him as a fresher or an experienced person?
Probably if the role is coding, then obviously
Okay.
fresh.
Okay. So if the
Let's
person
say
is having, yeah,
Uh, I'll explain. Let's say he joins my team, okay, and he needs to. Though I am not a hiring manager, but let's assume that I'm a hiring manager. So he joins my team. Then at the end of the day, what he has to do? He has to. There are tasks to complete, which is like writing some code somewhere, improving some operational stuff. So that person has to know the code, has to know for example, how AWS works. Okay, has to know how New Relic works, has to know signal FX queries, or if he doesn't know, he can find those out, right? So if that person doesn't have such experience in previous, and you said non-IT, in that case, obviously he or she will be a fresher, treated as a fresher.
Okay, another question is that in this from past 1 year, we are facing recession due to jobs layoffs. So, what would you suggest for someone who is trying to get job in 2024? He is completely fresher. He is going to pass out in 2024. What would you suggest to them? What are the skills that they need to learn to get job in product based companies or any service based companies?
Yeah, I think like focus on basic data structure. Just focus on the basic data structure algorithm, just basic, right? So that you can code. Like let's say somebody says that okay, reverse me this linked list, so that you can write that code. So those things you should be able to write fast. Number one. Number two. Now focus on skills, right? Which are either you can go into Android development or you can look into iOS development, right? Be a full, like you can build a Android app or build a iOS app, right? Or you can be a MERN stack developer, Mongo Express, full front stack. So focus on those tech skills, and then upload those projects onto your GitHub and upload your LinkedIn, and then apply for jobs. You will get jobs. There are still lot of requirements for those. So the thing is, I'll tell you. So the point is not, job is not a problem. There are a lot of jobs. It's that like you will say, okay, where are so many, because people are not skilled enough to qualify for the job. That is the problem, right? So like a companies interviews a lot and lot of people. So let's say they want to hire 10 people, they will have to interview at least 100 people, or like 80 90 people. Okay, so they are rejecting so many people and then finally hiring 10 people, right? So there are jobs. It's that whether you are capable to get that job. It's like, see, job is something you come and then add some value to the company, right? It's not just that you will come and then take the salary and go home. You have to add some value to the company. That's why salary company will pay you the salary. As simple as that.
Yeah, okay. Another question is that how to apply for product based companies. Suggest us the best platform to apply for those companies.
So there are no base platform. What I have suggested few people is that you can. There are these competitions happening again. I said on Hacker Earth and Hacker Rank. These two I know of. Okay, so participate in those competitions. Try to get a good rank over there. That is the first entry point to get a call. So and then go to these hackathons. Like I will say, go to Hyderabad or Bangalore and then attend as many hackathons as possible. Okay, these companies run hackathons. Then there are lot of working groups, like Microsoft has working groups, Amazon has working groups, right? User group, it's called. Sorry, not working group. User group. Amazon user group. You have Hadoop user group. You like every technology. Search for like technologies that are available. Then there are Mongo user group. There are events happening. Go to those events. That builds your network. So, and for those events, the sad part is that those events will happen only in big Indian cities. So you have to, if you have to start looking for a job, shift to some of the nearby big Indian cities, mostly Bangalore, Hyderabad, preferable, and then start looking, attend these hackathons, attend these user groups sessions that would happen. So it will build your network. Apply. Participate in the hackathons, which is online, conducted at Hackathon, Hacker Rank. That's the that will build you a network, and then try to reach out to more people on LinkedIn, the HRs. That's the only way you can go. Because, like truly speaking, like good product companies will look for like if you're a fresher, they will mostly look for people from good colleges. Truly speaking, right? Because
Yeah.
that's what we do. So that is there, right? I won't lie, like that is there. So you have to push a little more than to get your doors open. That's it. And I would say that, like, if you're a fresher, another good approach to do is that there is something called CDAC, CDAC, CDAC. They have a 6 months course. Okay, the CDAC center, there are few CDAC centers in Bangalore, few in Hyderabad, few in Pune. So you can try out that. They have a 6 months course which is very rigorous, and then they get placement on campus. So let's assume you are not from a good college. I will suggest that if you have another 6 months time and you have a little money, then try to sit for the CDAC exam. Google it up, CIT exam, get into a good CDAC. There are rankings also. Do your own research. CDAC, because I have, like in Delhi, and I know a person who came from CDAC. He was not from a good college. He did his CDAC and then he's in Delhi Hunt. Now he's in Amazon as a SD3. Amazon, he is an SD2, I believe. He is now SD2 or something. So he moved from that way, right? So the CDAC is a your easy, like those CDAC course is pretty costly, and the curriculum is very heavy, like it's very hard. But then 6 months rigorous thing, then you get job. See that, like 90% of people will get job in good companies, and then that will be the starting point, and it will be a development job. So that is the starting point, and then you will move up the ladder. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, Arka. Another question is that
Another
what
point
is
I
the
would
entry?
Another point I
Yeah,
would say, if you have more money and if you are willing to spend more time, then there is something called, what is that called? There is a course. There is a company. There is a company who.
yeah. Let it be for now.
Yeah,
So you can
yeah,
remind me whenever you remember. So I will post in our community, so people will get it. No worry
yeah,
about it.
yeah.
So another question is that how is the interview process at product-based companies, and how many rounds will be there?
So generally, let me tell you, Atlassian, like I'm not
Okay,
diving facts. Like I'll tell you. Okay, let me tell you about companies, not Atlassian. Maybe a Microsoft. I will tell, like because I have friends who have interviewed over here, or like any product.
okay,
So first of all, like you will have a data structure algorithm. Like take any product company, Atlassian, Microsoft, Google, Meta, everywhere. Okay, so there will be a data structure algorithm round. There will be mostly two data structure algorithm round. Okay, and then there will be a something called a system design round. uh, Now few companies have two system design round, few companies have one system design round. Okay, so now the point is that the first two rounds that you have is mostly coding, full coding. You will be given a problem, you have to code it, right? uh, Few companies does it on machine, few companies will ask you to write it on a pen and paper, right, or in board. Like if you are going to the office and giving the interview, or they would ask you to write it on a Google Doc, right? And few companies will ask you to write a code in your computer which runs. Okay, so like there would be two such rounds. There will be two rounds, one or two rounds of system design, and then there would be mostly a managerial round, the fifth round, and then there would be few more HR rounds and all those. That would be enough. I
okay.
think
Can you?
like it.
Yeah, you can see question right now in the screen. You can see question right now.
Uh,
Yeah. So can I ask question from next time, or else should I pin comment into the screen so that it will be more appropriate?
so you ping me which one? This is okay. 747. Okay. I see if a person has 5 years of experience in non-technical in an IT company. Later, if he learn development skills, applies for a product, how will they be evaluated like a fresher? This I answered, I believe.
Yeah, yeah. That's why I will pin the comments. So can't you see the pinned comments now?
Where I cannot see. Okay, comments.
Okay, no
Okay.
worry. So I will ask questions. No need to worry about. So
Uh,
what are the tips? Some tips that you give to build a stronger resume?
Build a stronger resume. I will
Yeah.
say technical. In technical, you write your projects, write brief projects, like what exactly technologies you used. Explain all the projects that you have worked. If you have industry experience, that is work for company, very specifically explain what are the technologies you did and what your team did. That's it. And what is the problem you solved? Explain that. Project experience is pretty important. Number one. Number two, I will say, like if you have a GitHub portal, please do put it. Please upload your resume, the latest version of the resume if you are searching for a job. Okay. Uh, and then I will say, like, if you can complete few courses on Coursera or Udemy or something, if you can paste, there is something like the in Coursera you can complete a course and you can link it to LinkedIn. So those also builds your resume or well, and fill up all the your personal details. That is, there is something called 5 star and all those. Try to put your LinkedIn, move your LinkedIn profile to 5 star rating. So for that you don't have to pay. You have to just fill up all the details. That's it.
Okay. Another question is that can anyone apply for CDAC exam? Is it for if anyone having study gaps or
I don't
development
know.
experience gap, anyone can apply?
Actually, I don't know. Truly speaking, I cannot.
Okay.
Like I never sat for CDAC, but I know few people who sat for CDAC and have been doing very good, and they are not from good colleges. Like, sorry to tell that, but like they are not from tier. They are from tier 3, tier 4 colleges. Okay,
Yeah.
they
I'm
are,
also from tier 3.
and they are currently doing pretty good in life. Okay, I
Yeah,
know
okay.
such. Hence, I am telling that CDEC is one good option. Which you, if you are very passionate and hardworking, CDEC you can go. It is really beneficial.
Okay. There is another some controversial question. What is your opinion on edtech companies like Scalar and etc.? It's
So my
somewhat
point.
controversial. Yeah.
My point was that I was mentioning the company whom I was trying to mention was Scalar. I think if you have lot of money, Scalar is very costly, but if you have good amount of money, you can go for Scalar. Okay, but the thing is that the Scalar's course material and the time is huge. It is good because I know I have a friend who is doing it from Scalar, and I have seen the contents, and he has drastically improved his technical skills. Okay, so Scalar I can say is good. For others, I don't know,
Okay.
and I do not get paid by Scalar. Okay,
That's
this is
okay, man.
not a option for Scalar. It is just what I felt can help, but Scalar is pretty costly. Like, truly speaking, it's
Yeah.
very costly.
Okay. Another question is that what is your suggestion for someone who is trying to get into tech with no experience? What are the suggestions that you are going to give him?
I will say is that if you want to go into tech and with no technical expertise, go via design route. Okay, so there is something called design courses available. Do that. Okay, uh, do that. Do design courses, there are user experience designs, user experience engineers, and all those are there. Like, you can focus on that, which is very less technical. There you will learn to, like, for an example, Coursera, there is a Google course which is free. Just try it out. In Coursera, there is a Google course, I believe, which is free. Just try it out. Or there is a, I think, specialization. The first course, pay for it and try it out if that works or not. So one thing is that you can go this designer route. The second thing, you can try it out. Less technical is testing. But then again, you will have to learn few good amount of coding to move to automated testing. But your initial manual testing doesn't need that much amount of technical coding and all those. But manual testing is at risk. I'm truly speaking. How the future would be, how your future would be by going that manual testing, I'm doubtful. Okay, because I
Okay.
have seen companies have cut down on testers at all, because like there are a lot of companies who do not have testers, like very few testers.
Yeah, okay. So another question is that what are the things that you observe in a person while interview other than technical skills and communicational skills? What are the other things that you observe in your person that you are interviewing other than technical and communicational skills?
How much of a team player he or she can be, like whether he is rude or not. If he is rude,
So can you give me some clarifying questions like what are the questions that you are going to ask and based on that responses how you are going to judge the person?
no,
Can
no,
you
it's
give some brief?
not clarifying question. It is like, let's assume he is solving like, it is like you can talk to a person and you can very easily understand whether he is rude or not, right? Whether
Okay.
he takes feedback or not. Like, let's say,
Okay.
like, he needs to be agile, right? If he is doing something, he needs to accept it if it's logical, and then he needs to make it. Like, if that is not the case, then I will have a problem working that with that person, right? That is something most companies avoid. So it's very simple. Company asks me a simple question. Technically, yes, and the next question is, that would you like to work with this person? If I say yes, then for me it's yes. Similar question is asked to other people also. Would you like to work with this person? So now I would never would like to work with a obnoxious person or a rude person, right? Uh, so that is something I would not like to.
So when you try to select a person, he has to solve all the problems, coding problems that you give, or do you select the person based on the approach that they are expressing to you?
Uh, See, if the problem is pretty simple, then most probably my expectation is that the person is able to solve the problem. If the problem is hard and the approach is good, then probably he or she could be hired in that case.
Yeah, so that solving a problem isn't necessary in some
Not,
cases, right?
not always necessary. Not always
Yeah.
necessary.
Okay. So if you are to pick from two domains, DevOps and web development, which one you suggest for someone who is trying to start a career?
I think DevOps would be safer
Okay.
because DevOps engineers there is a lot of need for DevOps engineers, and then this role with AI would need good amount of time to fill this role.
Okay. Someone asked the question, but I can't see where they asked.
Yeah, we have 5 more minutes.
Yeah, okay, man. That's so in these 5 more minutes, you can give some of the suggestions that you need to give to your to the fellow developers that you're going to meet someday. So and we are thankful that you attended this session and helped the peoples of Telugu community. So the Telugu community will remember you forever for your valuable time. So you can give some of the suggestions that you need to give to the Telugu community people, or else any developer.
Yeah, I would say that like technically, like again, right? Try to uh, not mug. Try to understand things. Number one. Number two is that have high ownership in your career. Once you get a job, if you show high ownership, you will be noticed and you will grow in the career. Ownership, like ownership is that you are not only responsible for the job that is given to you, but you are also responsible for the services and everything that you do. You try to find out problems. If you see any problem, you be proactive to go ahead and solve it yourself, or show it to the management so that it should be solved. That is called ownership. So its ownership is pretty important to grow in your career. And second thing is that try to understand things rather than mugging.
Yeah, okay. So can we get into product based companies if we just learn JavaScript only?
So what, like, I think you can learn JavaScript, but like let's say you want to join Microsoft, right? For an example, you will be
Okay.
asked a data structure algorithm problem. If you can crack it, then obviously you will be asked system design problem. Like at least front end will not be a system design problem, but you will be asked to solve data structure algorithm problem, and some front end stuff, DOM, object model, and all those will be asked to you. If you can solve it, then obviously you can join. You can get a job.
See, yeah, nowadays companies have only for front end developers or web developers roles are like that there, right? So they don't ask pretty deep data structures and algorithms. So do Atlassian have specialized developers like front end for and for back end?
So there are front end roles. I
Okay.
don't go for those roles, but there are front end roles. Yes, there are front end specialized roles in Atlassian.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Anything last note that you want to give?
No, nothing like, yeah, just like there. Like I would say, like there is good amount of jobs available. It's only thing is that if you make yourself capable, then you will get a job, as simple as that.
Yeah. Okay, Arka. Thanks for joining with us today. So we will remember you. So thanks for helping the Telugu community too once again from all
Yeah,
Telugu developers community. So that's all from our side, man.
yeah,
Happy
sure.
that you attended today and helped us.
Yeah, yeah, sure, sure.
Yeah.
Thank.
So I'm
Yeah,
like, yeah. So I'm
yeah.
ending the session, live session now. So
Yeah.
anyone who want to discuss with me can be here. So remaining people can leave. So thanks for all.